Hello, champions. Welcome to the Self-Help Podcast, your weekly dose of motivation, every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Diep, Pham, the creator of this podcast and your companion on the path of transformation. Here, you will discover all the right tools and the right mindsets to help you master your personal growth. Every week, we unlock science-backed strategies to help you master yourself, grow stronger, and level up in life. If you're ready to boost productivity, build confidence, and create lasting change, you're in the right place. And before we dive into today's episode, I want you to know that everything we cover, the resources, free templates, and actionable guides, is waiting for you right in the video description below. So don't stress about taking notes. Just listen, absorb, and today's episode is all about mental strength exercises to help you become absolutely unbreakable. Let me ask you something right now. And I want you to be really honest with yourself. How many times this week did you feel completely overwhelmed? Like the weight of everything, your job, your relationships, your responsibilities, was just crushing down on you. How many times did you want to take action on something important, but that voice in your head talked you out of it? And here's the real question. How many times did you go to bed feeling like you could have done more, been more, if only you were stronger? If you're feeling this right now, I need you to understand something. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not failing. You're just human, living in a world that constantly tests your limits. And get this. Research shows that 83% of U.S. workers, that's 8 out of every 10 people, suffer from work-related stress. And over half of them say this stress is destroying their home life too. So if you're struggling, you're definitely not alone. But here's the good news, champions. And this is what this entire episode is about. Mental strength is not some magical gift that lucky people are born with. It's a skill, a trainable, developable, buildable skill. Just like you can go to the gym and build physical muscle, you can do specific exercises to build your mental muscle. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to share with you over 25 powerful science-backed mental strength exercises that will help you forge an unbreakable mind. This isn't theory. This isn't motivational fluff. These are practical strategies you can start using today. So buckle up, champions. This is going to be a deep dive. We're going to decode what mental strength really is, break down the habits that destroy it, and then, I'm going to hand you a complete toolkit to build it. Let's get into it. First, we're going to decode mental strength, what it is and what it isn't. Okay, before we can build something, we need to understand what we're building, right? The term mental strength gets thrown around a lot. People say it all the time. Oh, you just need to be mentally strong. But what does that actually mean? Let me clear up some massive misconceptions right now, because if you misunderstand this, everything else falls apart. Mental strength versus mental health. First major distinction. Mental strength is not the same as mental health. And this distinction is absolutely liberating. Think about it this way. Physical health and physical strength are different, right? You could have perfect physical health, no diseases, no conditions, but be completely out of shape and unable to lift a heavy box. Or, on the flip side, you could be a world-class powerlifter, incredibly strong, but maybe you're managing diabetes or high blood pressure. The same exact principle applies to your mind. Mental health is about the absence or management of mental illness. Depression, anxiety, PTSD, these are mental health conditions. Mental strength, on the other hand, is emotional resilience. It's your ability to cope with stress, challenges, and pressure in a healthy and effective way. Here's what this means for you. You can be managing a mental health condition like anxiety or depression, and simultaneously be building tremendous mental strength. These aren't opposites. You're not disqualified from being mentally strong because you struggle with mental health. In fact, Some of the mentally strongest people I know have battled serious mental health challenges. They've learned coping strategies. They've developed resilience through their struggles. So if you're thinking, well, I have anxiety, so I guess I can't be mentally strong, stop right there. That's not how this works. Mental strength is available to everyone. It's a universal skill. And the exercises we're going to cover? They're workouts for your mind, accessible to anyone looking to level up. Understanding the related concepts. Now, you've probably heard other terms thrown around. Grit. Resilience. Mental toughness. What's the difference? Let me break it down quickly. Resilience is your ability to bounce back from adversity. When life knocks you down, resilience is what gets you back on your feet. The American Psychological Association defines it as successfully adapting to difficult experiences through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility. Grit, popularized by psychologist Angela Duckworth, is passion and perseverance toward long-term goals. It's stamina. It's the marathon runner's mindset. Sticking with something not just for a week or a month, but for years. Working hard to make your future a reality. Mental toughness, often from sports psychology, is about performing consistently under pressure. High confidence, high commitment, viewing challenges as opportunities, not threats. These aren't different things. They're facets of the same diamond. They're all components of mental strength. And when you build a foundation of mental strength, you develop all of these qualities. The 3 pillars of mental strength. All right, here's where it gets really practical. Mental strength is built on 3 interconnected pillars. And this is backed by decades of research in cognitive behavioral therapy. Pillar 1. How you think, cognitive health. This is your inner world. Your thoughts. Your self-talk. Mental strength requires you to think realistically and rationally. To identify unhelpful thought patterns and challenge them. To practice self-compassion instead of brutal self-criticism. Pillar 2. How you feel, emotional health. This is about managing your emotions. Not suppressing them, not ignoring them, but understanding them so they inform your decisions without controlling them. Being aware of your emotional state so you can respond consciously. Pillar 3. How you act, behavioral health. This is action. Your ability to do what needs to be done, aligned with your values, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Going to the gym when you're tired. Making that difficult phone call you've been avoiding. Taking action despite fear. Here's the magic, champions. These 3 pillars operate in a feedback loop. How you think affects how you feel. How you feel influences how you act. And here's the game changer. How you act reinforces and reshapes how you think and feel. This is why the exercises we're about to cover are so powerful. When you intervene in any one of these areas, when you change a thought, regulate an emotion, or take a new action, you trigger a positive upward spiral across the entire system. You start building momentum. And momentum is everything. 13. Things mentally strong people don't do. All right, champions, here's where we shift gears. Building mental strength isn't just about what you start doing. It's equally about what you stop doing. Think of it this way. If you're trying to fill a bucket with water, but the bucket has holes in it, it doesn't matter how much water you pour in. You're wasting your energy. Certain habits are like those holes. They drain your mental energy. They sabotage your strength before you even get started. This list comes from the incredible work of psychotherapist Amy Morin. And at its core, it's about something psychologists call locus of control. People with an external locus of control feel like their lives are controlled by outside forces. Luck, fate, other people. They blame circumstances. They feel helpless. People with an internal locus of control believe they are the architects of their own lives. They take responsibility. They focus on what they can control. Every single one of these 13 habits represents a shift from external to internal control. And that shift? That's where your power lives. Let's go through them. Number 1. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. Look, disappointment is real. Pain is real. Life isn't always fair, and mentally strong people acknowledge that. But they don't marinate in self-pity. They don't sit there thinking, why does this always happen to me? The universe has it out for me. Instead, they accept that life is challenging, take responsibility for their role in the situation, and focus their energy on moving forward. Self-pity is quicksand. Mental strength is choosing to climb out. Number 2, they don't give away their power. This one's huge. You give away your power when you let other people control your emotions. Mentally strong people don't say, my boss makes me feel bad, or that person ruined my day. Why? Because they understand that while you can't control what others do, you always control how you respond. Someone can say something rude. That's their action. How you feel about it? That's your choice. That's your power. Don't give it away. Number 3, they don't shy away from change. Change is inevitable. Avoiding it is like trying to hold back the tide. Mentally strong people don't just tolerate change. They welcome it. They see change as an opportunity for growth, for new experiences. They trust their ability to adapt. Flexibility is strength. Number 4, they don't waste energy on things they can't control. This one saves so much mental energy. Mentally strong people don't complain about traffic jams, lost luggage, bad weather, or things completely outside their influence. They focus exclusively on what they can control. And in most situations, that's simply their attitude and their response. Everything else is noise. Number 5, they don't worry about pleasing everyone. Trying to please everyone is exhausting and impossible. Mentally strong people are kind. They're fair. But they're not afraid to say no. They're not afraid to disappoint someone if it means staying true to themselves. Your self-worth is not dependent on universal approval. Let that sink in. Number 6, they don't fear taking calculated risks. There's a difference between being reckless and taking calculated risks. Mentally strong people do their homework. They weigh potential risks and benefits. They're informed. But then they step into the unknown. They embrace opportunity. They don't let fear of failure keep them playing small. Number 7, they don't dwell on the past. Yes, reflect on the past. Learn from it. Extract the lessons. But don't live there. Mentally strong people don't waste time reliving bad experiences or fantasizing about the glory days. They acknowledge their history, then turn their focus to the present and the future. Rumination is mental poison. Let it go. Number 8, they don't make the same mistakes over and over. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? Mentally strong people take responsibility for their behavior. They analyze past mistakes. They ask, what went wrong? What can I learn? And as a result, they don't repeat those mistakes. Errors aren't character flaws. They're data. Use them. Number 9, they don't resent other people's success. Jealousy and resentment are symptoms of insecurity. Mentally strong people can genuinely celebrate when others succeed. They don't feel cheated or think life is unfair. They see other people's success as proof that success is possible. It's inspiration, not a threat. Number 10, they don't give up after the first failure. Failure is not a stop sign. It's a stepping stone. Mentally strong people don't see failure as a reason to quit. They see it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to improve. They have the resilience to keep trying until they get it right. This mindset is the difference between those who achieve and those who give up. Number 11. They don't fear alone time. In our hyper-connected world, a lot of people are terrified of being alone. Silence scares them. Mentally strong people? They can tolerate and even enjoy solitude. They're not afraid to be alone with their thoughts. They use downtime for reflection, for planning, for productive work. They're comfortable in their own company. That's power. Number 12. They don't feel the world owes them anything. Entitlement is a mental strength killer. Mentally strong people don't think the world should hand them success, happiness, or comfort. They understand they're not owed anything. They actively create opportunities based on their own effort, merit, and contributions. Nobody's coming to save you. Save yourself. Number 13. They don't expect immediate results. We live in a world of instant gratification. Want food? Order it? Bored? Scroll your phone. Everything is immediate. But meaningful change, significant achievements, those take time. Mentally strong people understand this. They don't get discouraged when progress isn't immediate. They trust the process. They stay consistent. They persevere toward their long-term vision. Patience is a superpower, champions. All right, let's take a breath here. We've covered a lot of ground. If you're feeling like, wow, I do some of these things, don't beat yourself up. We all do some of these things sometimes. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is awareness. Now that you know what's draining your power, you can consciously work to eliminate those habits. And that's where the exercises come in. Which brings us to the practical, hands-on part of this episode. The actual workouts for your mind. The mental strength exercises, your training manual. All right, champions, this is where theory meets practice. This is where you roll up your sleeves and start building that unbreakable mind. These exercises are organized around those 3 pillars we talked about. How you think, how you feel, and how you act. And here's something really cool. These exercises create a self-reinforcing cycle. When you complete a behavioral exercise, you feel accomplished. That feeling reinforces positive thoughts about yourself. Those thoughts make the next challenge easier. It's an upward spiral. You don't need to master all of these at once. Start with 1. Just 1. Build momentum. Let's dive in. Cognitive training. Rewiring your brain. Your brain is not fixed, champions. This is one of the most exciting discoveries in neuroscience. It's called neuroplasticity. Your thoughts and experiences can physically change your brain's structure. These cognitive exercises are targeted brain training. Exercise 1. Cognitive reframing. This is the foundation. The principle is simple but profound. Your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings drive your actions. Unhelpful, distorted thoughts lead to negative emotions and unproductive behavior. Cognitive reframing is the skill of catching those distorted thoughts and replacing them with more balanced, realistic ones. Here's how you do it. Step 1. Identify the automatic negative thought. When you feel a sudden negative emotion, anxiety, anger, sadness, pause and ask yourself, what thought just went through my mind? Step 2. Examine the evidence. Treat that thought like a hypothesis, not a fact. Ask, what's the evidence this is 100% true? What's the evidence it's not true? Step 3. Challenge the cognitive distortion. Most unhelpful thoughts fall into predictable patterns. Identifying the pattern robs it of power. Step 4. Create a balanced alternative. Formulate a new thought that's more realistic. It doesn't have to be overly positive, just more balanced. Let me give you some examples of common distortions and how to reframe them. All or nothing thinking. This sounds like, I made a mistake on that report. I'm a complete failure at my job. The reframe? I made a mistake on one part of the report. I can learn from this and do better next time. It doesn't erase all my other successful work. Catastrophizing. This sounds like, if I get nervous during the presentation, everyone will think I'm incompetent and I'll get fired. The reframe? I might feel nervous, which is normal. I've prepared well. Even if it's not perfect, it's highly unlikely to be career-ending. I can handle this. Mind reading. This sounds like, my friend didn't text back. She must be angry with me. The reframe? I can't know what she's thinking. There are many reasons she might be busy. I won't jump to a negative conclusion without evidence. See how this works? You're not lying to yourself. You're just being more rational, more balanced. And that balance is mental strength. Exercise 2. Gratitude journaling. I know. Gratitude can sound cliché. But hear me out. The research on this is overwhelming. Practicing gratitude literally rewires your brain for positivity. Studies show that people who regularly practice gratitude experience measurably lower levels of stress and depression. They sleep better. They have stronger relationships. Here's how to make it effective. Every day, preferably before bed, write down 3 specific things you're grateful for. And here's the key. Be specific. Don't write, I'm grateful for my job. Write, I'm grateful for my colleague Sarah who helped me solve that difficult problem today and made me laugh during lunch. Specificity makes the feeling concrete. It makes it real. Try this for 21 days and watch what happens to your mindset. Exercise 3. Creating a productive mantra. Your inner dialogue shapes your reality. If it's filled with self-doubt and criticism, you'll struggle. A mantra is a short, powerful phrase you repeat intentionally to drown out the negativity and reprogram your mind. Here's how to create one. Identify a negative pattern. What's a common negative thought that holds you back? I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Create an antidote. Craft a short, positive, action-oriented phrase that directly counters it. Then repeat it. When you catch the negative thought, consciously repeat your mantra. Say it in your head or out loud. Examples. To counter fear of failure, challenge accepted. To counter self-doubt, act confident and do my best. To counter procrastination, just get started. Simple. Powerful. Effective. Emotional conditioning. Mastering your emotions. All right, now we move to the feeling pillar. Emotional conditioning isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about developing sophisticated awareness so you can regulate your emotions effectively. Exercise 4. Mindfulness meditation. Meditation is to the mind what exercise is to the body. It's foundational. The research is clear. Meditation increases resilience, improves focus, and reduces the physiological impact of stress. And you don't need an hour. You don't need a special cushion. You need 5 minutes. Here's a simple practice. Find a comfortable seat. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Notice the physical sensation. Air entering your nostrils. Your chest rising and falling. Your mind will wander. That's not failure. That's the nature of the mind. The exercise is this. The moment you notice your mind has wandered, gently bring your attention back to your breath. That act of returning? That's the rep. That's you training your attention muscle. Do this every day. 5 minutes. Watch what happens. Exercise 5. Name it to tame it. This technique is brilliantly simple. When you feel a strong, uncomfortable emotion, pause and label it. Say to yourself, I am feeling anxious. This is disappointment. I am noticing anger. Naming the emotion does two things. It validates your experience. And it creates a small space between you, the observer, and the emotion itself. That space gives you power. It gives you choice. You're not suppressing the emotion. You're acknowledging it without being consumed by it. Exercise 6. Tolerating discomfort. Growth and comfort don't coexist, champions. Building mental strength requires you to intentionally step outside your comfort zone. This trains your brain to understand that feelings of fear or reluctance don't have to dictate your actions. Start small. Choose a task that's slightly uncomfortable but aligned with your values. Make that sales call you've been avoiding. Speak up in a meeting. Go to the gym when you feel lazy. Focus on the action, not the feeling. Acknowledge the discomfort, but complete the task anyway. Each time you do this, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your fleeting emotions. That's mental strength in action. Behavioral activation, taking action. Now we get to the doing pillar. These exercises are grounded in a powerful technique called behavioral activation. The core premise? Action can precede motivation. You don't wait until you feel like it. You act your way into feeling better. Exercise 7. The 10-minute rule. This is the ultimate procrastination buster. Procrastination is often driven by feeling overwhelmed. Here's the rule. Identify a task you're dreading. Commit to working on it for just 10 minutes. Set a timer. Tell yourself that after 10 minutes, you can stop. The magic? Starting is almost always the hardest part. Once you overcome that initial inertia, you'll often find momentum to continue far beyond 10 minutes. It trains your brain that you can act even when you're not motivated. Exercise 8. Mastering the mundane. Extraordinary results rarely come from one heroic act. They come from showing up every single day and executing on unglamorous but essential tasks. Whether it's writing 500 words, making 10 sales calls, completing a daily workout, the discipline to perform these tasks with intent and effort, regardless of how you feel, builds powerful mental fortitude. Approach your work like a pro, not an amateur who only works when motivated. Exercise 9. Keeping promises to yourself. Your relationship with yourself is built on trust. Every time you make a promise to yourself and keep it, I'll wake up at 6 a.m. I'll finish this project by Friday, you build self-trust. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you erode that trust. Keeping these promises is a mental strength exercise because you're winning the inner battle against the weak voice that urges you to take the easy way out. Exercise 10. Physical training for mental fortitude. The connection between physical exertion and mental strength is undeniable. Training your body to push past discomfort trains your mind to do the same. Muhammad Ali said about his sit-ups, "I don't count my sit-ups. I only start counting when it starts hurting, when I feel pain, because that's when it really matters." Whether it's strength training, running, yoga, or martial arts, regular physical exercise builds discipline, focus, and resilience. Physical resilience translates directly to mental and emotional resilience. Real-world application, where the rubber meets the road. Okay, champions, theory and practice in a controlled environment are one thing. But the true test comes when you apply these skills in real life. In the messy, unpredictable arena where stakes are high. Let me give you 3 practical strategies for common high-stakes situations. Managing workplace stress. The workplace can be a stress crucible. 43% of employees feel stressed by their work. Here's how to use mental strength. Set and enforce clear boundaries. One of the biggest sources of burnout is the blurring of work and life. Protect your time. Set specific work hours. Limit after-hours emails. Learn to say no to requests that overextend you. Boundaries aren't weakness. They're self-respect. Focus on your circle of control. Draw a mental circle. Inside, place everything you control. Your effort, your attitude, your response. Outside, everything you can't control. A client's reaction, a coworker's mood, company policy. Focus 100% of your energy only on what's inside your circle. This prevents wasting mental energy on the uncontrollable. Use micro resets throughout the day. Between meetings or tasks, practice a 1-minute box breathing exercise. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Or step away from your desk and look out a window for 60 seconds. These small pauses prevent stress from accumulating to an overwhelming level. Bouncing back from failure. Everyone fails. The mentally strong aren't those who never fail. They're those who use failure as a catalyst for growth. Here's a process. Embrace the emotion. It's normal to feel disappointed or frustrated after a setback. Allow yourself to experience these emotions. Don't brush it off. Acknowledge it without letting it consume you. Take accountable ownership. Look objectively at your actions and decisions. Own them. This puts you back in the driver's seat. Extract the lesson. Ask yourself, what did I learn? What worked? What didn't? What specific actions can I take to improve next time? Reframe the narrative. The story you tell yourself about failure determines its long-term impact. You can choose a narrative of defeat or growth. Thomas Edison reframed thousands of failed attempts not as failures, but as finding thousands of ways that don't work. Steve Jobs called being fired from Apple the best thing that ever happened to him. You have the power to write your comeback story. Handling criticism. Criticism can feel like a personal attack. Mental strength allows you to override that reaction and extract valuable feedback. Pause. Don't react. The moment you receive criticism, take a deep breath. Create a gap between the stimulus and your response. This prevents you from saying something defensive you'll regret. Consider the source and intent. Is this person's opinion one you value? Is their intent to help or hurt? You get to choose whose feedback influences you. Hunt for the nugget of truth. Even in harsh criticism, there can be valuable feedback. Listen past the emotional delivery and ask, is there any truth here that could help me grow? Ask for clarification. Vague criticism isn't actionable. If someone says, your presentation was terrible, respond calmly, I appreciate the feedback. Can you tell me which part wasn't clear or what I could improve for next time? This shifts from confrontation to problem solving. Why you don't have to go it alone. Here's a myth I need to bust. Mental strength doesn't mean being a lone wolf. True strength involves recognizing when you need help and having the courage to ask for it. Strong social connections are a powerful buffer against stress. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, mentor, or therapist isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Externalizing your feelings and gaining outside perspective provides clarity and support that's difficult to achieve alone. Building and nurturing your social support network? That's one of the most important mental strength exercises you can undertake. Your questions answered. Let me quickly address some common questions. How is mental strength different from just acting tough? Acting tough is a facade. It's pretending everything's fine, suppressing emotions, projecting invulnerability. It's exhausting and unsustainable. True mental strength is authentic. It requires vulnerability to acknowledge your emotions and wisdom to manage them effectively, so you can make conscious, value-driven choices. It's the difference between a brittle object that shatters under pressure and a flexible one that bends and adapts. How long does it take to build mental strength? Building mental strength is a lifelong journey, not a destination. There's no set timeline. But with consistent practice, you can notice tangible improvements within a few weeks to months. The key is consistency. Can these exercises help with anxiety or depression? Yes. Many of these exercises, particularly cognitive reframing, mindfulness meditation, and behavioral activation, are foundational components of evidence-based therapies, like CBT and DBT, which are clinically proven treatments. This guide is educational, not a substitute for professional medical advice. But practicing these skills can significantly improve your ability to manage symptoms and serve as a powerful complement to professional treatment. What's the single most important exercise if I'm feeling overwhelmed? Start with your breath. A simple deep breathing exercise or 1-minute mindfulness meditation is the most accessible and immediately effective tool. Focusing on your breath calms your body's stress response instantly and creates mental space. This pause allows you to disengage from overwhelming thoughts and decide which other exercise to apply next. It's the foundation upon which all other mental training is built. Your mental strength journey starts now. All right, champions, we've covered a ton of ground today. We decoded what mental strength really is. We identified the 13 habits that drain it. And we assembled a comprehensive arsenal of over 25 mental strength exercises covering how you think, how you feel, and how you act. The core message? Mental strength is not a fixed trait you're born with. It's a dynamic, trainable skill. Your mind, like your body, can be strengthened through deliberate, consistent practice. Now, I know this is a lot of information. You might be feeling a little overwhelmed. That's normal. But here's the thing. You don't need to do everything at once. The power lies in small, daily actions. A 5-minute meditation. One reframed thought. Keeping one small promise to yourself. Tackling a task for just 10 minutes. These are the building blocks of profound, lasting change. Each small victory builds on the last, creating an upward spiral of confidence, resilience, and fortitude. Your journey doesn't begin tomorrow or next week. It begins right now, in this very moment. The power to change lies in your next choice. Here's my challenge to you. Choose just one exercise from this episode. Just one. Commit to practicing it every day for the next 7 days. Don't worry about the others. Just focus on that single, achievable action. That's how true strength is forged. Not in grand declarations, but in the quiet consistency of a single, conscious choice, repeated day after day. You've got this, champions. I believe in you. Yes, I do. Now, before we wrap up, I want to direct you to a resource that will help you implement everything we discussed today. Head over to pham.org/mental strength exercises. On that page, you'll find the complete written guide with all 25+ exercises laid out in detail, along with downloadable worksheets, checklists, and tracking templates to help you build these skills systematically. Don't just listen and forget, please. Take action. Go to that page, bookmark it, download the resources, and start your training today. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of the Self-Help Podcast. I hope you discovered something valuable, something you can immediately put into action to build unbreakable mental strength and transform your life. If this episode resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our Tuesday morning releases. Share this episode with someone who could benefit from developing stronger mental resilience. When we lift each other up, we all rise together as champions. Remember, I've put together all the resources we discussed today in the video description below. It includes mental strength tracking templates, cognitive reframing worksheets, gratitude journal prompts, and step-by-step guides to implement everything we covered today. Or if you'd like to dive deeper, I recently published 3 books on Amazon Kindle titled The Focus Unleashed, The Death of Fear, and The Procrastination Killers. all of which can contribute to your personal development journey ahead. Feel free to check them out, give them a read, and let me know if they connect with you. Again, thanks a lot for tuning in, my champions. I'm Diep, the creator of this podcast and your companion on the path of transformation. Until next time, stay focused, stay strong, stay mentally unbreakable, and keep winning the game of life.